everyone, and welcome to another episode of Mythrill Monthly! Yay!
Woo!
Hooray, you guys excited?
So excited.
This is a redo because both Twitch and OBS are being mean last week. Can we get an L for Twitch and OBS?
I'm here.
No, not you, L,
No.
the letter.
That is the letter.
And can we
guys.
also get a big, special, warm welcome to the lovely PNGtuber, one of our members, who you should go and follow right now because she's so amazing and wonderful. You had some fun lore last month, I'm pretty sure.
I guess you could call it fun.
You had some fun stuff going on last month. It was cute, it was quirky, it was silly. We look forward to it. But yeah, we're going to be going through all of the month that happened through the month of June. And we might talk about some other little things. We might talk about some behind the scenes things because we see little guys. But before we do that, we have to say a big special thank you to all of the little people who helped make this podcast happen. Elle, who is always my lovely, lovely co-host. Sky Was Taken 2 for making the intro music, and Marsarcy for making our PNGs, including the lovely new Katie one. Look at how pretty they are. Look at their silly little kid.
I'm kicking my feet. I'm giggling. I'm kicking
Oh
my
my god,
feet.
I'm about to say
cute.
you are kicking your feet and giggling.
Yeah,
It's actually my favourite thing.
Also,
I love
just in case any new people show up in stream today, I'm not sure if they will, but if anyone does, mods, please direct people to the pinned message or use !MM. Thank you.
Whoa.
Whoa, we love that.
Whoa.
Yeah, or I'll hunt you
All
down,
right.
Lord.
Oh,
We'll hunt you down. Yes.
that works too.
But yeah,
I am a mod. I can say that.
we won't really be paying too much attention to chat because obviously this is podcast style. But we're gonna go into the lovely little lore. Elle is reading the first one. But basically, this is the lore podcast for the SMP, the Mythrill SMP. I'm speaking great today.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Doing great, sweetie. We talk about all the story that's happened on the Mythrill SMP. You want to know more about the Mythrill SMP? You do the Mythrill link. It's cute, it's fun, it's Minecraft. We love Minecraft here. We have a good time. But the first stream that we're starting with, all the way back from the beginning of June, is wow, thank you for highlighting. My mouse is broken. After a long journey, did I spell it right? Yes, I did. Okay, and I believe you're starting this one, Elle.
I am indeed. Because it is an Artemis lore, fun fact. Who would have guessed? Me reading my own lore? Crazy.
No way.
So crazy, so crazy.
No, I held myself back, okay? I can't.
Wow, I mean,
I won't
considering how much lore you do,
one.
Bessie, you take a break. You don't take breaks, take a break.
I do.
Take a break.
This kid is pretty great.
Okay. Having recently been away from the harbour, Artemis takes a month to sit at her desk and speak with her particles. Their constant search for a way to cure Mars's illness has been less than fruitful. Taking a moment, Artemis reads a new letter from Loki, once again expressing his regret and how he hopes to see Artemis again one day. While she appreciates him owning up to his actions, Artemis still isn't sure if she can trust him again. Heading outside to tend to their animals, Artemis checks on the skulk. Seeing that it has spread once again with its strange appearance, they're unsure if it is safe to be around, but decide it should be fine. They've already died once, so what's the harm? Checking out their new house they built for Katie, Artemis sees the skull has spread there as well. Artemis keeps asserting that everything is fine as they find more and more skulk around the island. Attempting to distract themselves, Artemis goes back to thinking of a cure for Mars, and she cares for him immensely and wants to help in any way they can. Knowing that him and Katie had an argument not too long ago, having decided to write to Katie a while ago and ask how they've been, and show them the elven rune she's been looking for, hoping they might find some information on the sea elves in the process. Her main goal, however, is making sure everything is alright between Katie and Mars. What a mum, everybody.
I mean, considering how many people they've adopted.
Your Mythrill Harbour mum. Your local Mythrill Harbour mum.
Your local PTSD-ridden mother.
Yeah. What other way would you have her though?
A happy and healthy.
That
Yeah, that's
yeah.
impossible with Artemis. She is healthy. Wait, no, she died. Never mind. Artemis
She is happy, actually, now.
No, she's
And we have to pause for a moment because Erin...
Hi, Erin.
Hi, Erin. Welcome, everyone, to the lovely Mythrill Monthly lore podcast, where we give a recap on all of the lore that has happened on the Mythrill SMP. If you want to check that out, you can do !Mythrill, put it in the chat for you to check out all the information you got to find out. We have a lovely card that's just been set up, and I finally updated it to have all the art bios for the Arc 2 members, so that's cute. You can see Katie's bio in there now. It's great. It's lovely.
Cutie Gabber, you mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of story. We're currently coming to the end of Arc 2 of the Mythrill SMP, and we're going over all the lore that happened in June. And there was quite a lot. We've just started, so if you're interested to learn more about the server, stick around and find out what's happening. And thank you so much for the raid, Erin. You are so lovely, so lovely. Mwah, mwah. Okay, you can continue, Elle, from that little interruption.
Artemis also speaks about their frustration with Moon, how they wish to go to the end despite the dangers, planning to try and convince her friend not to go, and possibly thinking of telling Moon her mother is dead in service of that. Artemis doesn't want to lie to Moon anymore. However, with Moon not being aware that they knew her mother, it most likely wouldn't work. Her main concern is that going to the end would be a death sentence, not only for themselves, but for Moon as well, as the end has no reason to keep Moon alive if she went there. It worries Artemis how willing Moon is to put herself and others in danger just for a chance of finding her mother. With so much on their mind, Artemis decides to write a letter to Jay, having not seen her dear friend in a while and wanting to know what's been happening in the valley whilst they were away. Flying to Jay's house, they leave the letter in a mailbox, looking forward to seeing them again and catching up. Before returning home, Artemis muses checking on Bagel soon to make sure they are all right after losing their mask. With nothing left to do, but so much going on, Artemis heads home for the night.
Ooh, we do Artemis stream. We love an Artemis stream. We love it. It's so cute. I just realized that the next one that we have to read, Out of the Loop, for some reason the title gives me Rumor It Happened vibes, and I don't know why. Like, it shouldn't in any way, but my brain just started thinking of Rumor It Happened, and I was like, nice, okay. I love that song. I might just because we were talking about Hamilton earlier, to be honest. Potentially. Okay, well, I'm doing this one. So this was a stream between the lovely Jelly, Captain Jellyfish, and Rose Thunder, our beloveds. We love.
I love Rose Thunder.
We love Rose. I mean, Toes Thunder.
Toes Thunder, my beloved.
Toes Thunder, our beloved. We're so dumb. Anyway.
I mean, it was Rose's fault, to be honest.
True, so
yeah,
true.
Rose keeps complaining about it, but it's keeping the name, so...
Yeah. I mean, definitely weren't threatened by Elle that they had to. Anyway.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Alright then. So, Out of the Loop. Whilst heading to the harbour to gather food, Rose runs into Jelly, and the two start up a conversation. Having recently gotten a letter about the upcoming auction, Rose asks Jelly if they know what an auction even is and if they've met Celine before, causing Jelly to explain what the event could entail and share the little information they have about the shapeshifter. Having not met many people in the valley still, Jelly gives Rose a rundown on the various people they have met and have seen at the festival that happened a couple months prior, with Rose taking a particular interest in the humans as she's not very trusting of them. Having explored each other's homes, Jelly and Rose part ways for the day, with Rose considering visiting Katie again as she never responded to her message. Can't believe you left Rose on red.
You ghosted her? My goodness.
Anyway, walking through the Nether, Jelly voices a desire to gain a bit more confidence, wanting to use their pleasant interaction with Rose as a basis, as it proves they could have positive talks with people, I guess. They return home and decide to spend the rest of the day mining for netherite for their little bitty witty shop.
Bitty witty
shop. Bitty witty shop. It's so very cute. It's so very cute. Me when the command in chat doesn't work. So silly. So silly. It's alright. I think Nightbot's
think your
having a
command's
moment.
broken.
It's
I think
fine.
I think someone broke it.
Does
and
it
I'm gonna
have a
fight
cooldown,
them.
maybe?
I don't think so. I mean, it's the pinned message. Just read the pinned message, guys. Just so people be confused.
I'll be... Guys, don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm the bot now.
You're the bot now. My favourite bot. Someone's got to code me an L bot. That would be my favourite thing.
Oh my gosh. That would
Yeah,
actually be
It's
incredible.
just me bullying everybody, guys.
Speaking of incredible things, Katie.
Why was that the transition you did? Oh my gosh.
It's your turn because
It's
your
my
law.
turn. So I get to talk about the law that I did with Rose.
You did.
The lovely Rose Thunder.
The
I love
lovely
Rose
Rose
Thunder.
Thunder. A thorn in your side.
I thought in my side. I'm actually quite proud of that title. I'm
I
not
love
gonna
that
lie.
title because
That was so silly of me.
Yeah, not to mention the foreshadowing because of how that phrase has been used before.
Yup. Okay, so Katie perches by the edge of the water, solemnly staring into the waves and wishing they would take her home. She'd lost track of how long she'd been sitting there, pointlessly watching the water, before Rose snuck up behind her. Having gotten tired of waiting for Katie to respond to their letter, Rose decided to go visit the sea elf herself. However, they didn't expect to find her so despondent. Rose quickly learns the reason for her friend's mood as Katie tells them about her most recent argument with Mars and how he'd been lying to her and how she should have listened to Rose from the start. The two walk around the harbour for a while, finding a picnic site to rest and continue talking. They discuss the upcoming auction and joke about wearing matching suits and attending together. That was a joke. I genuinely did want to do that. They also talk about Celine and all the bad things they've heard about them, but they still decide to attend the event as they have yet to meet the shapeshifter themselves and would like to form their own opinions. It's then that Katie realises that Mars might attend the auction and begins to freak out, not wanting to see him again and leading to a very frustrated and angry rant. Rose moves the topic to the other people who might be attending the auction, having only met very few people in the valley so far. Katie talks about some of the people she met at the festival and hasn't seen since, as well as some of the people she's friends with in the valley. Rose is especially interested in meeting the wonderful Jay and seeing Artemis again, as it's been a while since they last spoke. They decide to take the opportunity to make some new friends and interact with other people. After realising that Rose's invite to the auction is different to Katie's, the two head to Artemis's bakery to buy some goods and consider giving some of the treats to Celine to make a good first impression. Seeing that a bee has stolen some of the bagels, the two talk about opening a law firm, despite not having any qualifications to do so. They scope out the open buildings in the harbour before deciding to both head home, but not before Katie shows Rose around her underwater cavern. They're so silly. They're so silly. I love them.
Who opened something without qualifications.
Taking inspiration from the other elf in the valley, I see. Little unlicensed therapist you.
I mean, she's got enough PTSD to be licensed, I think.
I think we'd make great lawyers, to be honest. I think it would be absolutely incredible. And I definitely trust soulless people to be my lawyer.
I definitely wouldn't.
My favourite thing is I've not changed since the first day in law Katie met when it was like, in case I'm so buff, I'm like, no. Katie, I would be such a great lawyer. No.
I would.
Yeah,
oh, you're so silly. You're so silly.
Right.
Okay.
Sure, Katie. What helps you sleep at night, sweetie?
Wow.
Okay, but we get into some of my favorite of the streams now.
Me
I think
too.
Elle takes the first shot at this with the lovely Elven.
Oh,
Katie realised where we are.
Elven Influence 2, the second part of Elle's own little unique quest to find these elven ruins in the harbour, and these books written by Erastor, an old elf who, from before the valley was destroyed, he lived there for a time, died in the calamity. So sad. Rest in peace.
If he was alive, he would be besties with Artemis.
They would be besties, but unfortunately he's dead, like everyone else who was in the valley back then. 10,000 years can really give you a crick in the neck. But yeah.
Oh my god, I know what I can't.
Anyway, you can read it now.
I know exactly what you did.
What? I never do anything.
Oh my
Twirls hair
gosh.
cutely.
I know exactly what you
Twirls
did,
hair
kid.
super duper cutely.
Oh my god, kicking my feet.
Kicking my feet, twirling my hair. Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm like third wheeling.
You are Katie.
Katie, I'm about to I'm about to kick your feet and twirl your hair.
Wow!
Wow.
Oh my gosh!
Is that a threat or like?
Slash it, you don't want to know.
Oh.
After spending many weeks exploring the valley,
Nah.
Artemis manages to ascertain the location of another elven ruin, deciding to invite Katie along in hopes they might learn something about sea elves. Along with this, Artemis is motivated to speak with Katie, being aware of her past fight with Mars and wanting to help the two of them. After covering the skull that still lingers around her house, Artemis watches Katie walk up to their front door and break it down, discovering she had no idea how doors work. After demonstrating how to properly use a door, Artemis shows Katie the house they made for her on the island, before setting off towards the elven ruin. As they boat over the water, the two elves have a chat, with Artemis learning about the most recent argument between Katie and Mars, which Artemis feels bad for bringing up. As Katie begins to get angry over the argument all over again, talk about how stupid and insensitive it was for Mars to write those letters. Artemis is interested to learn why Mars did it. She tells Katie that she doesn't need to forgive Mars, but learning his reason could give her closure. Artemis reminds Katie to not lose hope as they arrive at the first elven ruin, which Artemis tells Katie they can stay at if they ever need to get away from the harbour. They travel for a long while searching for another ruin, with Katie insistently asking if they're there yet, resting under the stars and sharing snacks as they walk. After a while, they come across a new ruin, this one made of 3 buildings and a strangely shaped tree, who Katie names Humphrey.
I love Humphrey.
What
I
a,
knew
what a
you were
silly
gonna-
little guy.
I knew you were
love
gonna comment straight
Humphrey.
away.
What a silly little guy. We love Humphrey.
We
Big
all
tree
do.
man Humphrey.
Big tree man.
Big tree man
Explore-
Humphrey.
Exploring around the buildings, they find 2 more books written by Aristor. One on elven magic and the other his memoir. They sit down within one of the ruins as Artemis reads the book to Katie, who struggles to sit through it all. In the book on elven magic, they learn that purple eyes are a sign of powerful magic that some Eldarin are blessed with. They also learn a bit about the magic of sea elves, it being incredibly rare and not especially strong. However, they are especially good at water-based magic and healing spells, most commonly performing them via song. They then read
Little mermaid
Aristor's...
arcs be like.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, Kate,
They
it's my
got the
little
red hair
mermaid.
and everything.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't pick it up?
I did.
No.
I did.
Oh, I did. I knew from like... Yeah.
Day one.
Mhm. They then read through Aristor's second memoir. However, Artemis keeps the last page to themselves, as it's related to the war between the End and the Elves. Not long after, Artemis leaves Katie at the ruin, making an excuse to run off, apologise before they leave. Return to the reconstructed ruin, Artemis muses about what they've just learned. They wonder about the colour of their eyes, one being purple and the other pink, and about the mysterious Pythia who Aristor believed to know the truth behind the war. The information they've learned only leads to more questions, making Artemis more determined to find other ruins and piece everything together. Even more frustration coming as everyone who would have the answers they seek is dead. Despite it all, Artemis is glad to have found something about sea elves, even if it won't help Katie get home. Feeling a bit disheartened as they struggle to help those they care about, Artemis heads to bed within the old elven ruin.
I didn't know you kept a page from me.
They
I
did.
didn't know
about-
that.
You
This is the
didn't
first
know.
time I'm finding this out.
Yeah.
Wow, Kid doesn't watch their friends' lore videos. I can't believe
believe
this.
Well, I was like, I'm in it, so I don't feel like I need to, but I'm being kept secret.
They're being kept secrets, man. Can't believe it. Here's a fun little fact. So Aristor's name was just me googling Tolkien elf names.
No, I know.
Because a lot of the elven stuff is inspired by Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But the end creatures, for some reason, a lot of them have names relating to different mythologies, hence Artemis,
Wild,
Apollo, Loki. So,
Wild.
the Oracle, well, that's actually in a different part, but
Yeah, that's no.
Pythia is the actual name of the Oracle of Delphi in Greek mythology. People just call them the Oracle of Delphi, but she has a name, and it's Pythia.
Yeah, guys, call her by her name.
Call her by her
My
name.
favorite thing is the fact Artemis is just sad. She's so upset with herself because she can't help her friends.
I know, she's sad little bean. She's sad little bean, but you know who else is a sad little bean?
PNGtuber.
Oh no.
Character Katie is.
Character Katie is very sad, and after Artemis left them, Character Katie went on her little own adventure. Do you want to tell us, Katie?
Yes. So, having been left at the elven ruin by Artemis, Katie slowly makes her way back home through the forest, chatting to her bubbles, or a chat, as she goes. She feels let down by what she learned, still being no closer to getting home than before she found the ruin, making the trip feel useless, even though she did enjoy the trip. Despite it all, Katie was happy to talk to Artemis again and is excited to decorate her room in one of the ruins. As she wanders home, Katie grows frustrated over no one being able to help her. She's been in the valley for months now, and no one has been able to help her. No one knows anything about the sea elves or where they live, and she's made no progress getting towards back home to her family.
That's my bad.
No, that's my bad.
No, that word should not be in there.
And she made no progress getting back home to her family. Katie considered speaking to Moon as their neighbours, as the pirate might have come across something on her travels. As she arrives home, Katie's surprised to see Artemis. However, she quickly realises they aren't her elven friend. The stranger introduces herself as Celine, instantly setting Katie on edge as she hides behind her mailbox. Celine convinces Katie to speak to them, stating that she hasn't done anything bad to them and all she's heard is which Katie agrees with as she starts to ease up a little. Katie questions what Celine is doing at her house, having never seen her around there before, to which Celine asks if Katie's been looking for her home. Katie wonders why that would matter to Celine, but confirms that she has been, to which Celine offers to help Katie. At first, Katie doesn't believe the shapeshifter, but she soon agrees to do anything if Celine will help her. Celine promises to find Katie's home. The sea elf gives them her soul, which Katie instantly agrees to, her soul manifesting into Celine's hand.
Ooh, Bestie's lost her soul. Three people. It gone. So sad, so sad.
That is so silly
goofy.
Me when loses the souls. Me when they go disappear. Me when
I
they
thought
go
you were just
poof.
calling Katie a loser, I'm not gonna lie, and I was like, valid. Me when loser.
Me when silly guy. Me when
silly goofy guy.
Me when Katie's just a silly fish.
Oh,
it's so fun playing two sides of a coin.
Hey, you agreed. You can't take it back.
Hold
you
the
agreed.
Hold the phone. That's not allowed.
I mean, we own the SMP, so we can, yeah.
It's okay. Nothing bad ever happens on the Mythrill SMP.
No, that would be so silly.
Nothing bad ever happens on the Mythrill SMP, guys.
What are you talking
Can
about?
we discuss how the lore catch-up document is 63 pages long?
Can we discuss how the character music playlist with everyone on it is 69 songs long?
Yeah, that's gonna get ruined soon, guys.
Favorite. No,
it will get ruined. It will get ruined as soon as we get like more people.
I was gonna put Apollo songs on as well because I was gonna put songs on for members who have made an impact but aren't here.
Yeah, you can. I mean, if you want.
Yeah, because I think character Cloudy's not in it, but I was like,
oh no, we need to add character Cloudy.
We need Cloudy.
We got Panky on there. We need Cloudy.
I'm okay with breaking the 69 for Cloudy to be added.
Yeah,
anything
for Cloudy Hard 1, 2, 3.
It's Apollo, Cloudy. I don't know if it's one other person, but I don't think there is.
Well, in my brain, it's for Cloudy.
I can think of. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. Well, nobody who had like a massive lore impact.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but the next lore is gonna be really chaotic.
I like this lore.
Because of how long the auction was, we're gonna split it up into parts, of who is explaining who or what parts of it. I'm taking the first shift. I
Jay,
get...
that's not the next thing.
That is the next thing.
No, it's not.
It's the casino,
Oh,
Jay.
it's a casino! Fuck me. Nope. Well, I'm angry because on your list it goes straight to the auction.
No,
Oh, no, it doesn't. I missed it. Well, I guess I'm doing this one then.
No,
Fuck
I
me.
literally did that as well, and then I had to look over it.
My,
and I was like,
the oranges
I
are
will say-
so distracting to my eyes.
Yeah, because I can't see it otherwise, basically.
I know,
that's
I
fair,
know
actually.
this.
I couldn't.
But you cannot be angry at me for being dumb. I am EP. I'm an EP girl.
The Clive law's not on it because I forgot to add it, but I can do that after.
What?
You missed
Don't you-
Clyde?
I didn't put it on the list because I had forgotten literally
Wah,
till
wah.
right now.
Wait.
Katie can do... No, wait. Katie has one after the L. You can do Clive.
Everyone does the one afterwards.
Well, everyone's doing the auction, but it's Jay, me, Katie.
Clive is after the auction.
No, Clive's before the auction.
Oh, the Clive's before the auction. Oh.
Wait.
Yeah, because that's why Charlie goes to the auction.
Sorry, my
can-
brain is breaking. You've destroyed me. I don't...
It's
Who...
okay. You can have some of mine.
Yeah, Katie, you can do Clive.
Okay.
You're piss sheep now. Congratulations, you've been promoted.
Oh.
I love that. That's a promotion.
Yes. Come on.
Would you rather be fish
No.
Would you rather be paid?
or piss sheep?
Yes, it works for me, guys. L. Sorry.
Cries many tears. It's
so
alright.
many.
Okay, well, now that I've finished having my this is my moment, we can talk about taking a gamble, taking a risk, which I was looking at and going to type, and for some reason I thought that was what the auction was called, even though it's just called the auction. So I think my brain literally broke itself. But it's fine! It's definitely fine. It's fine. It's fine.
So fine.
You're so fine. Anyway,
Oh.
Anyway, as the sun sets on the valley, Jay opens her mailbox to find a letter from her dear friend Artemis. Having been meaning to talk with them for a while and needing their assistance, Jay quickly flies to Artemis's island to meet with them. As the Fae walks around, they become concerned as they find patches of skulk littered around the island. Finding Artemis at their potion tower, Jay calls to them, stating that the island smells like death. Despite Jay's concerns, Artemis is adamant that everything is fine and refuses to acknowledge the skull creeping up the tower. Yeah, not a good look for you, bestie.
It's fine, guys.
Definitely not. The two talk as Jay leads Artemis back towards the harbour, Artemis revealing that she had gone adventuring in hopes of finding something to help Mars with his illness. That turned out great. Passing through the Nether, Jay says she has seen some strange behaviour from Melora recently that she wishes to investigate, only to see the very person they were talking about as they enter the harbour. Following Melora through the alleys, they lose sight of her and find themselves at a dead end. At first, Jay is disheartened over losing Melora again, however Artemis suggests she might have escaped into the water.
I'm so smart, guys.
Deep under the water, a speckling of light peeks through the ground, leading Jay and Artemis to it. As they descend through the water, they find themselves in an underground cavern filled with buildings. The secret city is filled with strange structures, many of the items sold being illegal or forgeries, and before the bloody brickwork stands Melora. Seeing her enter the building, Jay and Artemis slowly make their way after her, trying to be stealthy and keep their distance. They pass the empty desk, see the skulls dangling below a collection of blood vines, before ascending the stairs. I forgot the ass. Anyway.
It's because there's
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you've got a beautiful one,
Sorry!
so...
You shut the heck up, you silly Billy.
We can't help it, guys. I can't
Oh
help it.
my gosh.
What?
What?
Don't you do it. Oh my god, me and Kate together.
Anyway, entering the main building, Jay and Artemis peek around before heading up another set of stairs, only to come face to face with Melora and Panky. Having not seen each other since their wedding, Panky is quick to draw their weapon and chase the duo back down the stairs. Entering another room, Jay takes note of the things littered around. The bar, vending machines, poker chips, coming to the conclusion that they are in a casino, one owned by Celine. Artemis makes their way to some hanging chain dangling above the ground as Panky passes by without seeing them. This hiding spot is short-lived, however, as the witch spots both Jay and Artemis again and chases them out of the room. With the witch hot on their trails, the duo run back up the stairs, with Melora no longer blocking the way. As they head down the corridor, they manage to create some distance between themselves and Panky, entering what appears to be a VIP area of the establishment. With nowhere else to go, Artemis runs into Panky's office, Jay coming in behind her and magically blockading the door as Panky screams from the other side. As they attempt to find a way out of the situation, Jay's gaze is caught by a mysterious painting on the wall, stopping dead in her tracks. For a moment, nothing else matters but the painting. The world is drowned out as the Fae pieces together what the calligraphy means and realizes the true danger before them. In the end, it's Panky who snaps Jay out of their trance, their shrill screams and unstable magic bouncing off at the door. A quick detection spell allows Jay to find a secret entrance out of the room, which Artemis follows them through quickly, leading to the auction house. Within the auction house, they find Mars, having been cleaning the top podium, shocking Artemis as they spot his new crimson eyes. Knowing Panky will be after them soon, Jay grabs the pair's attention and Mars sends them below the podium, distracting Panky and sending the witch out of the building. Even with the danger gone, Jay is not at ease, taking Artemis back to her island for them to talk and reminding Mars to explain himself to the half-elf later. Heading to Artemis's secret basement, passing by more Skulk as they go, the duo discuss what just happened. They comment on how they haven't seen Panky since the wedding, assuming they must have been working within the secret casino the whole time, and how Melora seems to have been a business partner of theirs. Artemis asserts that the infiltration went well, even though they had been caught, they were still alive, but Jay disagrees. Revealing the painting in the office had been written in Fae language and had spelled Celine's name, they now know for certain that Celine is some sort of creature from the Feywilds, an extremely worrying idea, as Fae creatures are incredibly powerful. Not to mention the gifted godly magic Celine possesses. Such sensitive information is enough to stop Jay from attending the auction. Less knowledge of their little adventure through the casino gets back to Celine, or for fear that Panky might be in attendance. Why the fuck are you barking in the chat?
I was about to tell you.
Well, he is incredibly cute, so you know what, you're valid. Anyway. The conversation moves as Artemis asks how Jay's been since they last saw each other, the Fae revealing that she's been struggling with the enchantment on Charlie's journal, planning to visit the Phoenix in hopes of getting some direction. She also talks about all the stress she's been under, not just the journals, but Honey's heart, Bean's recent interaction with Celine, Mars losing his soul, and how she's not excited to add Panky back onto her list of worries. Feeling a bit better at sharing her woes, Jay asks Artemis how me when I skip a word. Dyslexia, I love me.
Okay.
Jay asks how Artemis is, but does not believe her friend when they claim they are fine.
You should believe her.
I don't believe you when you say you're fine. Why would I believe your character?
Because
I know you too well.
we're fine.
Jay asks if there
both
have
of
been
us.
any more developments with Moon, knowing she's been looking into the ancient cities whilst trying to find her mother, and Artemis reveals that Moon wants to go to the end and they agree to help them. Not understanding why they don't just say no, Artemis explains she was worried Moon would go to someone else if they refused to help open a portal. Even still, Artemis didn't tell Moon about the portal they have already opened. With a lot to think about and a lot more to do, the two walk around Artemis's island. Some more... Why
More
is that
casual
word there?
conversation.
Why is some more there? So someone's got to proofread this stuff for me, I swear to God.
Let me know when you write them and I'll proofread them for you.
How about you go through and proofread everything later?
I will sit and do that.
I need to go through and highlight everyone's names in the document as well, to be honest, but I have too much trouble writing them as it is. Anyway, having a more casual conversation before parting ways, Artemis sets off towards the Elven Ruin to check for Skulk, attempting to think of a way to contain the death moss spread as much as possible. Meanwhile, Jay flies towards the harbour, intending to go home only to rethink the idea, knowing that there's a high chance Panky could come looking for her. The Fae takes refuge in Moon's Bee Cafe as night descends on the valley. Oh,
Oh wow!
Look at you
And now
go.
it's time for everyone's favorite character. That's a Slive. Clive. Can we get a Clive? Can we get a Clive, everybody? Can we get a Clive? Clive. Piss sheep.
It's the same energy as Steve. It's just that.
We love
quite enjoy
Clive. We love Clive. Katie, why don't you tell us a bit about Clive?
I'm gonna Clive.
That's all. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Okay. Having spent several months working on their underground bunker, do I say Swarm or Charlie?
Eva.
Charlie
Both
certainly constructs the final area of the sewer, only to realize her beloved sheep Clive has gone missing. Searching widely around the base, the Phoenix has no choice but to venture outside, heading through the nether and ending up at the gazebo. There she finds not only Clive, but Jay, who helps them get Clive home as they talk about where Charlie's been. Once back in the sewer, Jay tells Charlie they hadn't answered any of her mail, leading the Fae to check the mailbox to bring Charlie all the letters. Whilst looking through the mailbox, Jay finds an invitation to the auction, which he gives to Charlie along with all her other letters. After explaining what an auction is, Charlie believing that it's a contest to get as many items as possible, Jay encourages them to attend. Even though Celine is dangerous, Jay knows they can't take Charlie's soul. Not only would she be safe, but it would finally get them out of the ruined train station sewer they live in. That's a bit harsh. Charlie agrees to go to the
They
auction.
gotta get out more, okay? Touching grass is healthy.
True. Charlie agrees to go to the auction, and after some questions surrounding Charlie's journal, which Jay still hasn't deciphered the enchantment on, the
Wow,
Fae
thanks.
leaves, allowing... Just saying. The Fae
emphasis.
It's
still
hard,
hasn't.
okay?
Still
it's
hasn't.
difficult. I'm just one little Fae creature.
Oh,
I'll help you out
no.
next time, Jay. Don't you worry. I'll be
Wow,
there.
I can't believe this.
The Fae leaves, allowing Charlie to show Clive the newest area of their home. So silly.
Yay.
So silly, goofy. We love Charlie.
I love Clive.
I
Charlie's second best. No, I'm
Wow,
joking.
I'm telling them you said that.
No,
Somebody
no,
clip
no,
that.
no.
I'm telling
No,
Charlie
I love
you said
Charlie.
that.
No.
I'm telling her you said that. She's gonna be
No,
so sad.
you're actually not allowed. I
I'm
actually love Charlie's
gonna.
one.
I'm gonna.
So bad.
I've
So
just been
bad.
scared on my Twitter timeline. So there was a butterfly.
Oh.
Oh.
Unrelated, but I keep seeing really cute butterfly-inspired dresses, and I've got to just send them to myself, because if I like them, they'll show up on your
I've
timeline.
seen those, but like with butterfly tops. So like the top is
Yeah.
like a butterfly.
But it's like if
I
Elle
want
sees
one.
them,
Yeah.
they'll start crying, so...
Don't send me butterflies. Don't like butterfly flings. I
But
will
it's not
smite you.
graphic. It's like the outline.
It doesn't.
If
But
it
I don't
resembles a
like
butterfly, they do not like it. It's sad.
I
It's
can't
sad.
stand butterflies.
They have a fear, they have a phobia.
Um.
Okay,
Like
but
this
now
phobia.
we actually get to do the auction!
Ooh.
Why? I feel like I was the most excited one there.
You're the. Well, I mean,
You were
it's
very
always-
enthusiastic. You had a
I
great
mean,
time.
with your play in the auction, I'm not surprised you're the.
I
only
mean-
one.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
we were neither of our characters were there, so we just
yeah,
gotta
I
be
was
like,
Celine,
oh no.
so I mean,
Oh no, the bad stuff is gonna happen here. The bad stuff is gonna happen. Such a silly time, but we're gonna be taking turns on this one because that's not the right picture. There we go. Because it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot. So I'm going to start us off then. Hooray! Night descends on Mythrill Harbour as several residents make their way towards the auction house, eager to partake in the events and see the mysterious items Celine has to offer. After taking a moment to chat amongst one another outside, they all enter the auction house, where they are greeted by Katie Gobert, the beloved, standing atop the central podium. After messing around and announcing she's helping out with the auction, Celine appears behind her, chastising Katie and sending her below the podium to do her job. With everyone seated, the event can begin. Many interesting items are auctioned away: a Mythrill ingot, Mythrill apple, dragon's breath, Mythrill catalyst, octopus plushie, Mythrill rose, and one special final item: a genuine set of Velo wings. As soon as the wings are shown, Rose begins to break down, asking how much the wings cost. As Celine reveals the starting price of the Vila wings to be a soul, Rose immediately offers her own in exchange, gaining the wings as the others watching back up in fear as they witness the trade. With all the items sold and another soul being taken, Celine disappears after thanking everyone for coming, leaving everyone else reeling from the events. Yeah, it's me still going. Unsure of what to do and still feeling hysterical, Rose allows Katie to take them away from the auction house and the prying eyes of those watching them. They walk through the harbour, avoiding people best they can, as they talk about what just happened. Katie admits she had no idea Rose's wings would be up for sale, let alone that she had any, but Rose brushes her off. Regardless of how it happened, Rose chose to sell their soul, and that's no fault of Katie's. They both slowly realise how little they understand about what they've done, both having sold their souls to Celine without really knowing the consequences, and decide to find Artemis at some point to ask more questions. Despite everything that's happened, Rose is relieved to have her wings back, though they don't understand how Celine got them in the first place. Neither Rose nor Katie think Celine is as bad as people make them out to be, even though she took both of their souls, but understands that something sinister is going on. Katie reveals, thanks to selling her soul to Celine, that she is closer than ever to finding her way home. Rose is happy for her and, considering Celine gave Rose her wings, assumes the shapeshifter will keep their end of Katie's deal as well. It's at this point, as they walk through the docks, that Katie realizes her eyes are now red, explaining why so many people at the auction kept staring at her. Attempting to comfort Katie, like she had for them, Rose reassures Katie that eyes are still beautiful, even complimenting how they go with her new outfit. They also realize that Katie's eyes now match a coral crown. However, as Katie goes to put the crown on, she realizes the coral has died, concerning both her and Rose. They return to Rose's home, agreeing to talk to Artemis about the situation soon, with Katie ensuring Rose is alright before heading home herself. Now it's Elle's turn.
Yeah. Okay. After failing to eavesdrop on Katie and Rose's conversation at the auction house, Pfizer asks to speak with Moon somewhere more private. Heading over to her honey shop, Moon takes Pfizer to a secret room under the building, where the two start their conversation. Whilst Pfizer was caught off guard by the events of the auction, but Moon thinks it was to be expected, considering Celine's reputation. They end up discussing their last conversations while sharing some things that have come to light since then. Most importantly, Pfizer's new status as a warlock. Baffled by how Pfizer was completely unaware he was a warlock till recently, he explains that Jay was the one to reveal it to him, and that his patron hasn't revealed himself to him. But even with all the mystery and confusion, he wanted to be truthful with Moon, as he never intended to lie to her. They return to discussing the events of the auction and Celine in general, going over everyone who sold their souls thus far, causing Moon to realize many of them are her neighbors. Isaac has been unaware Katie had sold her soul, having not noticed the change in eye colour, but did recognise she had been acting differently during the auction. Moon rationalises being unfamiliar with magic and the symptoms of being soulless, that Katie wouldn't have been helping Celine otherwise. Not to mention the bits of her conversations with Rose showed Katie was trying to comfort the Vila. How else would she be able to do so if she hadn't experienced the exact same thing, selling her soul? Isaac wasn't too sure what to think. He himself having been keeping on Celine's good side and rationalised that Katie might have been doing the same, and that it was possible Rose and Katie were already close friends, so that the comforting would make more sense. However, he agrees that Moon's assumption could have merit. As Isaac had confided his status in her, Moon shared some information of what she's been up to these past months. Presenting Isaac with the axe she had gotten from her adventures within the ancient cities. She talks a bit about her adventures, careful to leave out the books and search for information on her mother, as Isaac examines the axe and uses his magic to see how strong it is. With a final word of keeping a low profile, the two leave the secret room and make their way home.
Now, I realised looking at the list, when I
Yeah.
wrote this, I changed where Katie and Rose's part went, and so I continued
Yeah.
that from Rose's wings bit because I got confused. So
Yeah,
we're just
that's
going
all
to
good.
skip that part, and Katie can do their bit with Moon later, and I'll just take the next one. You get less
Okay.
work, you're welcome. Oh, okay. Where am I going for? Here. Still enchanted by Celine's performance for the auction, Bagel, or aka Lilith, lingers around the auction as she makes notes on all those in attendance. Running into Charlie, who was cowering outside, Lilith starts a conversation by complimenting the octopus plushie the Phoenix had brought and decided to wear as a hat. Charlie admits to being very stressed and confused over everything that just took place, and Lilith reassures them it's all fine, and that's just what auctions are like, which Charlie finds disturbing since someone sold their soul. But Lilith still doesn't see the problem. Having not left their bunker in some time, Charlie really isn't sure how normal selling your soul is, as they don't remember it being common before, knowing that at least a handful of people in the valley have sold their soul. Lilith explains this to the Phoenix, as well as confirming why some people have red eyes, Lilith being the exception, along with Celine themselves. Charlie asks if that makes them evil, telling the half-Endermen that they are very gullible and they need to be honest with them, which Lilith makes a note on. Attempting to calm down from it all, Charlie reaffirms what Lilith told them, wanting to believe it's all fine, like they said. Lilith points out that Rose chose to sell their soul and was never forced to, therefore there's nothing to be concerned about. Even still, Charlie doesn't believe Rose was very happy with the situation. They talk a bit about Charlie's bunker, as the events have made them want to rush back home to safety, before parting ways and disappearing into the harbour. Now it's Katie.
Babe!
Yay! Katie
Hey.
Fish!
Our
Okay.
beloved.
Stop! Oh my god. Now home, and with a lot to think about, Moon spots Katie through their spyglass as the sea elf makes her way back to the beach, entering a staring match from across the water. Eventually, Moon decides to head over to have a conversation with Katie, curious to get more information about everything. Katie reveals to Moon after some questioning that her eyes changed colour after she sold her soul to Celine, confirming the pirate's suspicions, even telling Moon how Celine promised to help her get home. They make some small talk before Moon asks if Katie knows what Celine is after, which the sea elf doesn't know, suggesting Moon ask Celine herself if she's so curious. Moon returns to her boat soon after, allowing Katie to finally make her way home.
That was really fun when it was actually happening, because Katie came into VC with us and was just like, Moon staring at me, okay, I have to go, they're coming over.
We've got a full,
you were done with the lore, and then Moon spots you and you're like, I have to go now.
I was done, and then we also later found that me and Rose both went live when we were doing our lore stuff, so that little
Yeah.
bit was just
Re-recorded.
recorded stuff that no one's ever seen, so that's a little
No.
exclusive thing.
I've seen it.
I've
You
seen
have
the
seen
recording.
it. You have
I
seen
don't know
it.
if Rose is ever gonna show it, but
No,
Nah.
I don't know, but it's exclusive.
I've
This
seen
is why
it.
you listen to the podcast.
this
'cause
is why
get
you listen to the
exclusive
podcast,
stuff.
because you find out what actually happened while these two were being sillies and not doing stuff. I mean,
it's because my laptop was overheating.
no, yeah, you had valid reason for it. You had
I
valid
was
reason.
struggling.
Rose was at
When
their
you-
aunt's, I'm pretty sure, as well, which is why
Yeah.
they couldn't
Yeah.
do it.
When you finish law, you always hide away from everyone else. Hide in my
Especially when it's a
basement.
harbour
I know, but I do my jumpies.
You do your little
Yeah.
bouncies.
But
Yeah.
Katie, no one knows you finished law because they can't tell. Because
Yeah,
they're
that's
still doing
true.
stuff.
It's alright. It's alright. Okay.
Just hide in the basement of someone's house.
That's true.
Okay. I believe it is your turn now.
Me. Yes.
I'm bugging my face. Go away.
Having left Charlie, Lilith walks around the harbour ranting and raving about Isaac, as Celine had mentioned the two of them possibly going on a date during the auction. Angered by this, Lilith insults Isaac as she passes by his home, accusing him of having back problems and calling him old. She curses as she enters his house, claiming it smells weird before asking Isaac if he got anything from the auction. After rifling through Isaac's things, as well as stealing a few of them, Lilith runs off towards the bay after throwing a few more insults Isaac's way.
We love that energy.
Yeah. It's my
Oh, me
just-
when we caused this.
we caused it. We sat there giggling about
We
it 'cause
said,
we're like,
what if we
"Hee-hee."
brought this up and what drama would this cause? And it caused all the drama and it was
Drama
so delicious.
Island.
Total drama island. We stand.
That is just the Mythrill SMP, guys.
What? Nothing bad ever happens in a
gosh.
Mythrill SMP. What do you mean? Anyway.
That's all there.
What?
Finding her way to Moon's island and ship, Lilith lets herself aboard and starts to question the pirate on the items she purchased. Realizing that Lilith is part Enderman, Moon questions if she's from the End and proceeds to ask Lilith if they knew any way of getting there. Having been sealed off for centuries, Lilith shares that it's illegal for anyone to leave or enter the End due to a war that happened many years ago, informing Moon that anyone who tried to enter would most likely be killed on sight. Curious, Moon asks how Lilith managed to leave the End if it's illegal, which Lilith finds a bit too forward, to which she points out there are other people Moon can ask about the End. Having already questioned Artemis about it all and wanting to know Lilith's perspective, the half-Enderman suggests that sneaking into the End could be possible, however, it would be incredibly hard as all portals are guarded by the most elite warriors in the End, the Daemons of the Edge. All in all, Lilith couldn't care less if Moon goes to the End or not, stating that she left for a reason, has no intentions of returning. Lilith leaves soon after, no longer enjoying the conversation and wanting to go back to hibernating. Deals made and souls taken, the sun rises on Mythrill Valley as the residents are left to process the events of the night. Those not in attendance are ignorant to it all, but soon they will all feel the consequences of the auctions, as Celine's influence spreads further and further, infecting the land like a leech. Nothing is for certain, much is left uncovered. But one thing is for sure. Every storm begins with a singular drop of water.
I remember you DMing me that.
I love
I
that
remember
line.
you DMing that last bit. I was like,
Hey, I love my storm, my storm allegations.
mhm.
Oh.
I'm about to cancel the storm on Twitter.
Oh.
Okay.
It's Katie's turn.
Oh.
Katie gets to read this
cool.
one because we gave you another
Yeah.
one. Don't worry, it's short.
Yeah, I gave
Yeah.
Katie all of like Katie's things. I was like, I feel bad because Katie doesn't have much. And
Give us some other little bitty ones. This one is a
Yeah.
honey stream. Woo.
Yay!
Go on, bestie.
Okay. So, after spending some time alone, Honey wakes up one day to find her house invaded by Hoovers. After briefly talking with her petals
Typical
or
day
chat,
on the server.
basically,
yeah, at
mentioning
this
she does,
point.
yeah, mentioning she doesn't mind their presence, she focuses more on her to-do list. The first of which is an apology letter to Jay for an incident in the library a few months ago. She busies herself around the island, fulfilling her to-do list and enjoying the day, but her heart isn't truly in it. When she arrives home, Honey writes in her journal, stating that she doesn't feel like her own person because of Psyche, the ex-fiancé of her creator, Lord Galson. Did I say that right?
Yeah, it's
It's
Psyche
pronounced
and
bitch boy.
Galson. So you got the second
Psyche,
one right. Yeah,
Galson.
Psyche. Galson was correct.
Sick.
Nice
Oh,
one.
bitch boy.
Bitch boy.
Psyche.
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 Yeah.
Like
Okay.
psychology, psyche.
Psyche.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Good job.
You're doing great.
Greek
Katie.
names. We love Greek names in this
Come
household.
on.
Yeah, I really do.
Greek. Whoa.
Woo.
Honey calls herself a carbon copy, blaming being designed after Psyche. Got it. For the
Psyche,
problem that she
bestie.
did. No! Stop! Psyche!
There's an E at the end.
Stop, I'm trying.
I believe in
Psyche
you.
for the problem that she deems herself has before breaking down into tears. Oh, I should have read that differently. Psyche for the problem that she deems herself as before breaking down into tears. That felt more appropriate.
Good job.
She feels like a terrible person, having messed up so much after she first woke up. Going to Celine, barging into Jay's library, yelling at Artemis, and believes she only hurts those around her. The only people she has not betrayed or hurt are Breeze, a mysterious being communicating with her through Angeli. She desperately hopes she doesn't mess up those relationships like she has with others. Heading to bed in hopes to ease her worries, whispering how she blames Psyche for
Good
her
job.
problems as she drifts to sleep.
Yay. you. You did great.
Should have given a pronunciation guide for that one. So sorry, bestie. You did well though.
I did try it. It's because I do psychology, so I'm so used to just going psych. Like I've got psych coming up.
Yeah, no, that's valid.
No, I get ya. Here's a fun thing though. So Honey was a statue brought to life by the god of love, correct? In Greek mythology, Psyche is the wife of Eros, who is Aphrodite's son and also a love god.
Yep.
That's the reasoning for this other NPC to be named Psyche. Psyche and Galson are also dead, so don't worry about it.
Slay!
10,000 years really gave you a cricket.
It really makes you become
does.
old
It really
and die.
Yes. Oh, I've got 3 in a row. Oh, this is so cute.
I mean, they are all mainly related to you. But
I mean, no, it's fine, bestie. I
don't
don't
mind.
Actually,
if you need one,
if you want to take Bean's first one, and then I can do the other two.
I can do that. That's chill.
Just to give me a bit of a break from my poor little throat.
Yeah, that's why like I put you down because I was like, I asked you if you want to do Beans, and you were like, yeah. I was like, okay. I was like,
just because they're so close together.
I was like, wait till Jesse's are all together.
Wait till I cry. Okay, you can do number 3. Oh, I need to change the fucking thing.
Okay.
But yeah, this is the 4th part of the steam-powered heart. This was originally meant to be a 3-part quest, and somehow it became 5 because we had a beginning. we had an inciting incident, and then we had a conclusion that weren't accounted for in the plan. So this is part 4 of a Scottish Bean steam-powered heart questline, where they investigate the mechanical heart that seems to be powering their mushroom island. Who knows why it got there? We might find out. Explain, Al.
Compass in hand, Bean ventures off to find the last Mythrill catalyst needed to repair the mechanical heart powering his island, using their glider to fly across the water, forests and ravines. Bean eventually comes across a ship flying in the air. Boarding the floating vessel, Bean explores the ship, finding it to be covered in blood and skulls like all the others. At the front of the ship, a lectern holding a book stands, repeating one word: he's coming. On the last page, the message changes to say, beware the true god.
Ooh, spoopy.
With everything she's been learning, all the mysteries unanswered, Bean decides it might be time to tell someone else in the valley about it all. The more they find, the more dangerous it becomes. With no one left alive from these wreckages, they take the coins left aboard before finding what she was looking for, the Mythrill catalyst. Beside the catalyst is another blueprint, this time for a mechanical crossbow and a lightning rod, all of which Bean grabs before flying back towards their home. As soon as they arrive home, Bean darts down to the heart, dropping the Mythrill catalyst into the lava once more. Activating the heart runs through all of its processing, finally being restored to full power. Thanking Bean, the heart promises to answer their questions, even alluding to a records room hidden on the island that might hold more answers. However, as it's only just been repowered, the heart still needs time to gather all its resources. Bean agrees to return later to go through its findings, and with nothing else to do till then, attempts...
You alright?
Yeah, I can't read that word. And I don't know why.
Which one? Discern.
Discern the properties of the Mythrill blood.
Yeah. Discern means like to find out.
I thought I had a guess that was it, but I just couldn't.
Me and my silly big words, don't worry, bestie.
In fact, it's not even a big word. It's just I've probably heard it before. My brain just went black with everything today.
No, so fair, so fair. We're getting through this pretty well, though. I'm proud of us. Only been an hour. But we're doing good. And now we have a little moony one.
Considering what we've gotten through within an hour, we're not...
Yeah.
We're good for time.
Once we've gone through all of them, we'll get a count of how many there actually were that we went through, because this might be the most we've had since the first episode, and that was going over 2 months worth of lore, so oh my god. So much. But yes, this is a stream between me and the lovely Moon Intensity following up on them wanting to know a bit more about the end and such. So,
Wow.
having been staying at the bee cafe for a few days, Jay bumps into Moon as she comes to pay the bees a visit. The two enter a discussion of how the auction went, Moon telling the Fae about the items exchanged in the selling of Rose's soul. Understanding the Veil's reasoning, Jay is more troubled than surprised. Even more so when Moon reveals that Katie was also soulless. I'm so sad. With Mars having also lost his soul to Selene, Moon worries as the three are her neighbours, but gains some ease of mind as Jay explains how harmless they are even whilst being soulless. TLDR, you're weak.
Not my kids.
Not my kids. Little scrungly guys. We love them. We love them. Interestingly, Moon asks what Jay might know of the end, having already spoken to the residents of the valley who have been there. With the reveal that Moon's mother might be in the end, something Jay was already aware of from her conversation with Artemis, they question the possibility of going to the end and how practical it would be. Knowing that entering the realm would more than likely lead to Moon's death, Jay tells the pirate as such, warning them not to go and most importantly not to let Artemis go with her. Having been expelled from the end, Moon might be able to win their favour by exchanging Artemis's life for hers, but the pirate is more concerned with losing her closest friend.
As you should be.
As you should be, bestie.
Besties for life.
After a long back and forth about the logistics of going to the end, how easy it would be to sneak in, what Moon could offer them in exchange, the inevitability of not being able to leave even if she wasn't killed, Jay convinces Moon to not do anything reckless, knowing that her eagerness to see her mother again could lead to danger. Knowing that opening an end portal isn't an easy task, despite also knowing Artemis already had one open, Jay tells Moon that Karma once offered to help Artemis open a portal to the end. Knowing the pirate's distaste for the demons, Jay uses this information to try lessen Moon's dislike towards them, and open her to the possibility of coexisting with the demons should she return, which only mildly works. As they head outside, they return to discussing the events of the auction. Moon talks about her conversation with Isaac and how he seems adamant on stopping whatever Selene is up to, though Moon isn't interested in getting on the shapeshifter's radar more than she already is. Bring up the fact that at some point, Moon might not have a choice but to face Selene. The pirate agrees to keep an eye on the soulless surrounding her home. For now, however, they agree it's best to gather more information before making any sudden moves. I changed that in the actual thing. Stars rising behind them, Moon begins to share her experiences, showing the Fae her newly acquired axe, which they won by beating a strange-looking warden in battle. Examining the head of the creature, which Moon still has for some reason, the scholar suggests it might have been some crude attempt to combine a human with a warden. Such a horrifying experiment would only result in a creature of madness, which fits with the description Moon provides, a powerful beast that attacked without mercy. Knowing of the ancient city's attempts to construct a wooden army to defeat Warren, Moon asks if they would be strong enough to actually stop a god. Unfortunately, however, they would at best be able to slow them down, and never enough to kill one. With no more left to discuss, Jay and Moon part ways, Jay returning home finally, whilst musing to herself about the new soulless residents in the valley. Knowing that Selene has had 10,000 years to potentially gather souls, and 11 years since the barrier surrounding the valley fell and allowed new people to enter the land, she wonders how many souls the shapeshifter really has. Knowing that the easiest answer to everything would be learning Selene's true name, as being a Fae, she would be able to control Selene with that knowledge. Jay is frustrated, as the one person who would know the information is in the demon plane not answering her messages. With nothing else left, she reasons that the only way to fix everything is to stop Selene once and for all. All she has to do is figure out how.
Jay got ghosted by Karma.
Can't believe Bestie Karma is leaving me on the
Why is
fucking
everyone
land.
getting ghosted? Everyone's getting ghosted by each other this time.
My bestie is just, okay, she's just busy, she's just doing stuff, okay? I miss her.
She's
Got other
ghosting
things
you.
to do, guys. It's fine. She's a busy girl.
That's what I
She's
tell
just-
myself
she's
every day, and I get
busy, she's
ghosted,
just
so it's
busy,
fine.
It's fine.
Oh
It's
my
fine
God.
because we have the final part of Bean's quest, the steam-powered
Whoa.
Part 5. And can I learn to
is good.
fucking type?
No.
What is happening with me today?
I love
What the hap
Beanie.
is fucking in, Kyle? Anyway,
Oh,
Ace of Ghosted, how dare you? How dare you?
L.
Who said that?
I'm about to Ace of Ghost these nuts. Anyway,
Oh
my god!
my gosh.
I
I don't even
No,
know what
this
that
is why-
means.
This is why I love you.
This is why I sure.
This is why
Any-
we're friends.
This is why I love you.
Oh my god, I love you. Kicking my feet.
Oh my god,
twirling
twirling my hair. I have re-picked up
Not
my habit of
again.
twirling my hair. I am compulsively twirling my hair like all the time now, and I can't stop.
That's
Oh my
so
god,
good.
you
I
make me
need
twirl
to
my
stop.
hair though.
I need to stop. Oh my god, the dice got rolled. Oh my god, the die. Thank you for the biddies. Oh my god, the dice got rolled. Okay. Anyway,
it's like
the
D&D.
final part of being steam-powered
Oh,
heart
fun.
quest, we wonder what will happen now the heart has been fully restored to power. We wonder. Performing a routine maintenance check on all his machines, Bean wanders around their island, putting things in order, even heading to the harbour to check on her shop. As they return to his island, Bean checks on their mailbox, discovering another letter from Jay. Unfortunately, the letter isn't as happy as the last, warning Bean that the person who visited her island wasn't Artemis, but instead Celine. With this troubling revelation comes even more worries, as Bean hears the loud metallic sounds of the island's heart calling out for help. Rushing back inside the island, Bean makes it to the chamber's entrance before stopping in his tracks, spotting Celine floating effortlessly above the lava before the heart. As she watches them talk, fear lining the heart's mechanical voice, learning that Celine has asked the heart for some dangerous information. Threatening Bean's life if the heart doesn't comply, threatening Bean's life if the heart doesn't comply, it begs for the hybrid to be left alone, only for Celine to pull out her axe. The shapeshifter deems both the heart and Bean useless, deciding to take what she came for instead of asking for it. With a strong burst of magic, the heart implodes, leaving nothing but the pipes connecting it to the island as Celine disappears. Shocked and scared by the events, Bean tentatively approaches the heart's rubble, finding a room behind it exposed by the explosion. Walls lined with quartz and covered in various contraptions, the inventor finds 3 memos retailing the creation and subsequent retirement of the mechanical heart, supposedly written by its creator. Deciding that it's due time they tell someone about the heart and all she's been doing, Bean takes the books from the records room and heads back to their workstation, catching the author's name scribed on the cover. Warren.
Bum bum bum. Sorry.
Wow.
Long-time viewers should understand that Warren is the name of the 3rd deity and only god that's been known in the valley. And no
Oh
one has
my
seen them
gosh.
yet. No one knows what they fucking look like or what their deal is.
I want to
Wolf
know
has a
what
crush
Warren
on
looks
them.
like.
Me too.
No, you don't.
Katie, you're so silly, goofy, lovely, amazing, wonderful, pretty. Anyway.
Whoa, that was a lot of words.
Just
I
gaslight
know.
Katie into thinking that she's wrong, Jay. That's what I normally do.
Warren's
What
a
the
silly,
freak?
goofy guy. Yeah. Do you know who else is a silly, goofy guy? Artemis Hermes.
Me. I'm a little bit.
Artemis
Oh
Hermes
god.
with the final of the Elven influence questline. And I can now see Katie Gobert's face. And can I just tell you, it's such a pretty
Katie Gobert.
face.
Stop!
It is.
Oh my gosh,
See,
guys.
Why
now
would
I
I
can
stop
see.
telling the truth? I'm a fae, I can't lie. Anyway, you can
True.
start whenever you want to,
Valid.
Bestie.
Okay. Oh, this. Oh my god, you're gay.
Oh my god, you're gay. Oh my god, Katie's hell of a bride.
No!
In July?
In July? I can't believe this. Anyway, I'll go on.
Sitting upon their tower, Artemis speaks to their particles about the auction. It having recently passed, but the half-elves having no clue what could have had transpired. Pushing it out of their mind, she grabs the books they discovered within the elven ruins and heads towards another portal, eager to find another ruin and gain more information about the past of her race. Arriving at the first ruin they uncovered, Artemis finds some of their plants have died, an odd occurrence as they've been perfectly healthy the day before. Looking around more, the half-elf finds more skull littered around the ruin, just like on their island. Deciding not to worry about that right now. Why worry? Everything is fine. Artemis flies over the second ruin, which they've just started rebuilding. From there, they set off towards the last location they have to search. hoping beyond hope to find something else and finally get the answers they're looking for. After a while, they spot a construct on the horizon, a tall tower peeking up from the forest below. Landing before the building, Artemis sets off exploring every nook and cranny of the place, brushing past the field of alliums as they go. The search provides them with several Mythrill coins, a fair amount of rubble debris, and atop of the tower, Aristo's third memoir. The book recounts Aristo's perspective of the start of the calamity, or so it's assumed, and how they encountered Pythia. The half-Enderman provided insight into the start of the Elven End War, telling Aristotle that her father, Orion, foresaw prophecy. Elven-eared and shielded skin from union forged these starry kin. Inspire riot from fallen grace, leave the end to find their place. Not knowing to make of it all, Artemis reads more of the book, learning that the officials in the end believed a child born of elven and Shulk blood would destroy their society. Aristo's theory, however, was that they could inspire the end to revolt against the oppressors and create a better realm. Regretfully, Aristotle writes that no one may ever learn of this truth. As with so many injured in their group, there are no condition to travel. It is then revealed Aristotle sent a squire to tell the king of Telri, an elven kingdom, of the news. Considering the calamity, it is unlikely the squire ever made it past the barrier. More disturbing than that, however, is Artemis's recollection of the king's last name. And I butcher this name every time, because I forgot how to pronounce it, and I'm the one who chose it. And I was sat thinking about it the other day. So,
Isn't it like Amdaroth?
yeah, that's
Amdaroth.
it.
There you go.
It's because we've not said it like in ages, and then out of
Yeah.
nowhere. Knowing that as her mother's last name, and learning with Aristotle's memoir that the Princess of Tower had managed to open a portal to the end, Artemis begins to piece things together. Finishing the book in disbelief, Artemis has 1,000 questions and even more worries. Their particles not helping much with the fact, promising to rebuild the ruins in Aristotle's memory as it was likely where he died. Artemis heads home with a particular destination in mind.
I wonder.
Whoa!
I wonder where they're headed.
That's wild.
Can we take a quick break? While I go, because
Yes.
I've got food, so I'm gonna grab it.
Of course. You go grab
I'll
your
be back.
stuff.
I love how I made the consecutive decision. I was like, yes.
You're like,
No.
I mean, Ella's fine to go grab their food. You have the next two anyway, bestie.
No. The next one would be ours. I know, because it says,
Does it?
and Artemis and Moon. Wait,
where?
yeah, it does. I'm a smart girl.
Oh yeah, no, that does. I got confused because they're separate things, but I'll put them together on the spreadsheet. That makes sense. That's me not being able to read. The fact that I run this podcast and the SMP with dyslexia and half a brain cell is kind of wondrous.
No, but you're actually slaying though. It's actually iconic.
Stop!
No.
Only because I've got such wonderful members like you.
Stop it right now.
Why would I ever stop? Why would I ever stop complimenting my favorite people who I love?
Because you're so wonderful and amazing.
That's so true.
But Katie, I love you and I love your lore and I love your story.
What?
Real.
I love how cute you are.
What?
Me too.
I love how precious you are, /P. /P.
Stop!
Okay, you can continue once I change the title, bestie.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate spelling this word. I did it! And I messed up once.
Slay.
Yay! Thank you. Thanks, Mom.
So, this is where it gets good, I think. For me, anyway.
Read.
Okay. Returning home after their adventures, Artemis enters their secret basement, intending to check the end portal to see if Loki had sent any more letters. As they descended into the tunnel, Artemis is spotted by Moon, who had come to speak to the half-shult about the end once more, and that they had ender eyes. Following her friend through the tunnels, Moon catches up to Artemis as they stand before the portal, looking like she's about to jump through. Even with the assurance that they aren't going through, Moon struggles to believe Artemis, questioning them about the portal and everything they've talked about. Unable to lie again, Artemis tells Moon the truth. They've had this portal for months, and Artemis knows Moon's mother. Moon can't get over the thought that Artemis was about to leave them, just like her mother did, and begins to get angry. Despite the promises that Artemis wanted to protect Moon, that she didn't care what happened to themselves as long as their friends were safe, Moon refuses to believe that lying was the only way to keep her safe. Now realizing Artemis knowing where her mother was, Moon becomes hysterical as they explain they want to confirm their theory before telling Moon. Despite knowing how she was to find even a shred of information of where Mary was, Artemis knew if they said anything, Moon would do something reckless, which the pirate unapologetically agrees with. Emotions running high, Moon threatens to use Artemis as a bargaining chip to gain access to the end, which she knows will result in the half-elf's death. Even still, Artemis tells Moon it would work. Calming down a tad at Artemis's admission, Moon isn't sure what to think anymore. If Artemis really cared, Moon states, she would have been honest with her from the start. A real friend would have told them and let them decide for themselves what to believe. It's then they both realise they haven't had real friends till now. Artemis being unsure of her relationship with Moon for so long, despite caring for her immensely. Even still, Artemis apologises, telling Moon that there's no way for her to reunite with her mother. The Daemon of the Edge refuse to allow anyone through the portal. They won't let anyone die in the end again, no matter the reason. Moon states that she would do anything for Artemis, just like the half-elf would do anything for them, which they see as a problem. Artemis can't understand friendships well, can't understand how Moon can say such things after they lied to her about something so important, but she does understand. But what she does understand is how similar Moon is to her mother. But just they are similar, they are not the same person. Moon is her own wonderful, amazing, loving person. She is who Artemis made friends with in the valley. She is the one Artemis wants to protect. She's more than just the legacy of a great pirate. I hate you for this, by the way.
I had to get sappy with it.
I might have gotten the notes, but I hate you for this.
Go on, keep reading. It gets worse.
I know it does because I've read it already once
Do
before.
you?
Moon cries as she says she needs her mother, but Artemis assures she doesn't. She lived so long without her, accomplished so much on her own. It's time Moon realised that she's more than Mary's daughter. Knowing too well what it's like to live in someone else's shadow, they understand how Moon feels, but affirms once more how important Moon is as her own person. Moon is the best pirate Artemis has ever had the pleasure of meeting, and she wouldn't trade their friendship for anything in the world. Sorry, I was coughing.
Oh, it's okay, bestie.
Tearing up for a new reason, Moon states that if what Artemis says is true, then she can't leave. Artemis can't abandon her like her mother did. The half-elf promises not to, that they'll always be there for Moon, and neither of them will let each other go. It's been them from the start, the first friends each were made in the valley, and they have no intention of ending that. Funny how the two coldest people in the harbour could grow to be such close, loving friends. With more apologies, heartfelt hugs, and sincerity, the two leave the stronghold. Moon rushes home to write a letter to her mother, Artemis having offered to send one through the portal with her next one they sent to Loki. As the half-elf reads the newest one they receive, wrote upon her desk as the foxes scramble around downstairs, Artemis reads the most recent apology from her fiancé. Smiles.
Oh, sorry, I have something very, very important to show chat real quick. Show. There it is.
Oh my gosh!
I love you so much.
Stop it right now!
You got both of them on your head. You did such a good job. I was so proud.
I was so proud of myself.
You were so proud. Look at you. Look at you.
Ginny, stop it! Oh my god!
Such a good job.
I'm gonna scream.
You're so cute. You did such a good job.
Just like how I cried in that law, I almost cried reading that.
That was so cute.
I'm here to break your hearts even after the fact. You can't get an unemotional recap. You're getting a cry.
That law, and I've said this to near everyone, has made me cry. And it's probably the most emotional I've ever felt doing law.
So lovely.
And I do think that's because of the Artemis and Moon, they've been friends since the start.
I think it's that and Moon's A-star acting.
Yeah, Moon is great.
Moon is so cool.
I love them. They're my
Moon.
I love Moon intensity.
I feel like
I love Moon intensity.
I
love Moon intensity, and I also love Katie Gobert, who has an next part jury.
Oh yeah, I do.
You do. I love how that one was answers and this one is questions.
Oh,
that
that's
wasn't
so
planned, but
wow.
That was fun. Questions of the soul.
Oh,
you better question the souls.
I better question it, honestly. Am I going?
You can go whenever you want to.
Okay then. Maybe I'll wait.
She just leaves the VC.
She just disappears.
Yeah,
and I cry.
Because the way you phrase it, can I go? I'm like, yeah. She just gone.
Bye, everyone.
No, may you go. May you go. May starts doing the teacher thing.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go at break, huh?
The amount of times I've heard that.
Oh, the amount of times I wanted to stab a teacher. In a video
oh my god!
In a video
you
game.
Didn't?
Oh, okay. The amount of times I want to stab a teacher.
You didn't have a pen stab a teacher with it?
I mean, I never did it.
Just me then, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway, we didn't come here to hear admissions that should be taken to a court of law. Anyway,
maybe
it's not a legal. Fun fact.
Oh, stabbing a teacher isn't illegal.
I think it would be.
not with a pen, actually.
Oh, I guess it isn't.
When they did it
Is that something you've searched up?
Not when they did it first. Okay, if they stabbed you first, then it's fair game.
It's assault on me. I'm self-defense.
Oh, so true, so true. Anyway, Katie. Let's move on from this very quickly by hearing about you and Rose as you do silly little things.
Yes. Having both lost their souls so recently. Oh my gosh. Rose and Katie head to Artemis's island to when it means hoping the eldest of them all will have the
Wait, your mic cut out a little bit there, Bestie.
Oh,
sorry, can you repeat that?
I swear if it's doing this again.
It's just every so often it's a word, but like that one it was like a couple, so I was like, sorry.
Oh no, I'll just go really close, guys.
We get the 4D Katie experience.
Am I going from the top, making it drop, and then...
Yes.
Yeah, might as well,
Okay. Having both lost their souls so recently, Rose and Katie head to Artemis's island to question the half-elf about what it means to soul, hoping the eldest of them will have the answers. Exploring the island, they can't find Artemis anywhere, only for Katie to remember the secret home Artemis had shown her previously. Deciding to look for their friend there, the two head through the nether in hopes of getting answers to their questions. Plural. Artemis, having written a letter to her fiancé about Apollo's death and recently learned royal status, is interrupted by a ruckus they hear from downstairs. Heading down and immediately bumping into Rose, the Vila and Sea Elf explain why they're there and sit down at the table with Katie's assistants. As they start to explain their run-ins with Celine, Artemis stops them as Moon had already told her, which annoys Katie quite a bit. Artemis explains that she understands why they sold their soul, reasoning that she would have done the same, should Celine have been more prominent when she first came to the valley. Getting to the crux of the issue, Katie explains to Artemis why her and Rose are there. They want some guidance as they aren't sure what to do now they're soulless, or even what it means to be soulless. They're worried they will die or worse will happen. But Artemis assures them that's not the case. In fact, they're now unable to die other than being killed, which they will still return from. Unfortunately, however, the more danger the death their bodies face will be, the more monstrous they will become. Artemis warns them to be careful. Concerned, Katie admits to feeling normal, but Artemis tells her she isn't herself anymore. Without their souls, such crucial parts of a person will change slowly, starting with their eye colour, then personality, and who knows what else. Panky is the perfect example. Artemis explains, as they had become so deranged that they...
Do you need some help?
No. I don't know if that... Never mind. That they kidnapped and poisoned...
Wait, where is
Where
it?
are
Where is
you?
it?
I don't know if I read that word right.
Deranged as... Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay,
deranged.
cool.
I just spelt it. It's spelt wrong.
No, don't worry. That they kidnapped and poisoned Jay with a love potion. Panicking, Katie states she doesn't end up like that, but Artemis states that it's different to each person, they change, and reminds her she's not going through it alone. Even with them taking her soul, Katie struggles to understand what's so bad about causing Artemis to explain just how many souls the shapes are taken from people, and how their manipulative nature is far more dangerous than it seems. Latching on to the others who had sold their souls, Katie notices that Artemis mentioned a fourth person, but refuses to say their name, ignoring Katie's question about it. Instead, Artemis wants the two of them to be cautious of Celine, as she now owns their soul, and may have some form of control over them because still not understanding how sweet and genuine. Artemis points out that people are less willing to sell their souls to people, hence the shapeshifter's two-faced nature.
Bestie,
Offer...
can we get just a reread of that paragraph? Because it's
no!
getting worse. Since we addressed it, it's gotten worse.
Getting worse?
I don't know if it's too close to your face and like it's cutting out because of that, or if it's something else. I don't know.
I'm turned
this might be a
suppression.
shout. I know. I see you when you turn your face. You kind of turn away from your mic. Try and put it on a monitor where you can look straight, and you are pointing straight into the mic.
Maybe.
Because the way your mic it, because the mic you have, it's where your obviously your pop filter is and not the top.
Directional stuff.
Yeah, but it don't matter. It's still you need to point straight into the mic, flick forward, because
yeah,
your
it's
mic's not at the
silly.
top.
Okay. Wait, which one was I reading from?
That
whole paragraph. That whole paragraph.
Maybe.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's fine. Even with them taking her soul, Katie struggles to understand what's so bad about Celine, causing Artemis to explain just how many souls the shapeshifter had taken from people, and how their manipulative nature is far more dangerous than it seems. Latching onto others who had sold their souls, Katie notices that Artemis had mentioned a fourth person, but refused to say their name, ignoring Katie's questioning about it. Instead, Artemis warns the two of them to be cautious of Celine, as she now owns their souls and may have some form of control over them because of it. Still not understanding how sweet and genuine Celine had seemed, Artemis points out that people are less willing to sell their souls to people they dislike, hence the shapeshifter's two-faced nature. Is that okay?
Yes, you did good.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was
cool.
slow.
It wasn't cutting out this time, yay.
Okay, sick. Offering both Rose and Katie a place in the Elven Ruin should they ever need it, even allowing them to decorate a room for themselves. Artemis leaves the two of them alone to rest. She continues her letter to Loki. After finishing the room and showing it off to Artemis, Katie and Rose head home, with the Sea Elf commenting that Artemis was hiding something from them. Confused as to why Artemis wouldn't tell them who the fourth soulless in the valley is, decides to stay guarded, now suspicious of her half-elf friend. Still anxious about the situation they find themselves in, Katie, especially with the strange nightmares they've been having, they take comfort in each other as they await for the future.
Wop, wop, wop,
You did
wop.
amazing.
Also, I'll just note there for anyone who had trouble following that, because we hate microphones in this household. It's not your fault, bestie. It's not your fault. No, it's not your fault.
Is.
But if just for any of the stuff, because I know sometimes we stutter or mumble or whatever, you can read all of this in the Mythrill Discord. You can find it from the card very easily.
You should
There's also
join
just,
the Mythrill Discord.
I think there's also just a direct link from there to the lore catch-up thing. I'm not quite sure, actually. I'll have to check. But there's a link to the Discord where it's all written. Actually, there's not a link to the document, but there's a link to the Discord, and everything is in the Discord. So, wooga. But Katie's got another one. It's a short one, though.
Yeah, it's a shorter one.
It's a short one. It's a honey one.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Oh, wait, I gotta train up her fucking band.
Do you want me to wait until you've done that?
You're good.
Aware for the summer.
Okay. Jelly wakes up early for another day on the island, running through their morning routine, only to leave their house and be shocked at the cornflowers littering the island and the large blue gashes littering the earth. After questioning the Hoovers about what had happened, they raced to Honey's home, who had just received another letter from Breeze, before leading the angel outside, who comments about the cornflowers nearly immediately. Shocked, the pair decide to start some detective work, splitting up across the island to see if they can find a source of the gashes or the cornflowers. The pair end up forming a few theories, ranging from a revenge prank from Bagel to Jelly, that it was the fault of Beelzebub, the horse, or that it's an elaborate scavenger hunt. Together, they find several coins, gold pieces, and a totem of undying. Towards the end of their searching, Jelly also finds a soft feather, which they pocket, but eventually bring it up to Honey, who debunks it as either just being from her flying around or another member of Mythrill Valley. The duo decide to call it a day and both head into their respective homes, but their day isn't over yet. While Jelly chats to their abyssals chat about their new home and argue with them that the discovery of the soft feather was simply a coincidence, Honey discovers a cornflower in front of her bed and begins to receive more notes from Breeze. Breeze tells Honey that if she wants to be safe, she will continue to do what it says, and that she is responsible for what's happening on the island. Honey begins to quietly tell Breeze that she didn't want to do this, and that she does not want to continue to be forced to do so, only to be met with a response saying she has no choice but to obey a god, which the angel repeats. The mysterious notes that she had once thought of as friends then say that she will see them again soon, and Honey's vision goes dark. Noticing a trail of cornflowers, Jelly follows them curiously through the forest, seeing a warm light through the trees. Spotting Honey, Jelly calls out their name as they see her standing within a ring of burning trees, holding 2 flint and steel. Unable to tell Jelly what is happening, Honey apologizes before taking off into the sky, heading towards the Mythrill Temple. Jelly races to put out the flames, still arguing with her abyssal, in order to stop the fire from spreading to their home. After panicking for a while, Jelly decides to try and sleep it off, hoping that it was all just a dream.
It was only just a dream.
It was
I was
only
thinking about
just a
you,
dream.
think about me, think about us. What we're gonna be over my eyes.
I think honestly, some Mythrill members, like characters, would wish some of the stuff were either dreams or nightmare that they could wake up from.
One day I'm gonna do
Real.
an SMP and the ending is gonna be it was all a dream and everyone's gonna
No,
hate me.
you're actually not allowed.
I'm never gonna
You're
tell
actually not
anyone
allowed.
which SMP it will be, but one of them I'm gonna do that just to spite people.
I would
No.
I would love and hate that.
I would also hate it because I feel like it's the laziest ending you can have for anything.
I think it depends on the way it's done. It's like if
Mm.
in the story, if you can tell, like there's little bits that don't add
Yeah.
up.
Guys,
and that
name
makes it
name a piece of media where the ending being it was just a dream was good, because I don't actually know any.
I don't actually know. I've got an idea for one what could be good, but I don't have one.
I can't think of
No one's
honestly
done
the
it.
just a dream media kind of fell out from the early
Yeah.
2000s, I'm pretty sure.
It did actually, yeah.
But I know there was some stuff. I'm pretty sure I watched one, but I don't remember. If anyone knows any though, I'm interested to
No,
know if there's anything that actually has a good payoff.
I don't remember any.
I don't remember any. I think it's a
I
little silly goofy.
don't.
Oh, the Nutcracker is kind of just a dream.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's kind of dubious if it was real or not, but
Nutcracker's
yeah.
a classic.
but Nutcracker was good
Over-
because Barbie
Over the
Nutcracker
Garden Wall.
exists.
It's
Oh,
kinda
over
like
the
that.
over the garden wall is good, but that
Yeah, it's like 50 because there's a lot of fans who are like, oh, it wasn't a dream, and some people like, oh, it was.
because they have like some
It's
stuff
kinda-
that it's still there, don't they?
Yeah, it's like the
I like the theory
ending.
that it was purgatory because they almost died.
Yeah, it was suggested that it was a dream, but as things that suggest it wasn't. I do
Yeah.
like the fact the
Alice
end is
in
not
Wonderland
certain.
depends on the interpretation because I don't think Tim Burton's one is just a dream at all. Like that's a real place.
Yeah.
But like in the original, it might have just been a dream because the whole original story was the nonsensicalness of dreams.
Mm.
Wizard
Yeah.
of Oz, though, I never heard of that being a dream, but I guess it makes sense. To be honest, it makes
Mm,
more sense
Like,
it being a drug trip than anything.
yeah, isn't it just
yeah.
she like hit her head?
Kinda. There's a storm, and I think she like passes out during it, and then that's like the storm
Yeah.
that takes her house to Oz. But
Yeah.
it's not actually like what happens. But again, I guess that's interpretation or which media it's
Yeah.
produced through.
Mm.
Tim Burton's isn't as the animation is. Yeah, yeah. Okay, but now we have an L1.
Whoa!
And we don't
Yeah.
have too many more after this. Thank
I know,
fuck.
right? I know, right?
Friends till the
Okay.
end, though. How cute. We've been building up to this one.
Yeah.
All month, all month.
Real.
For real, for real. Foreshadowing.
Mulling over the recent events in the valley, mainly the new turned soulless residents, Artemis goes about their island doing chores, checking for more skulk. The monotonous task. Sorry. This monotonous task is
You were
interrupted
right there.
as
Also, it's monotonous,
yeah,
but you were right there.
yeah, I'm fine. I just got a cough.
Yeah, okay, Misty. Have a water. Take a sip.
I have been throughout this whole thing. I've
Aww.
got ice cold water. Um,
Good job.
is interrupted as Bagel rushes up to the half-elf outside the tavern. Having received a letter from Artemis before the auction and not being aware of it till now. After a few comments about their absences from the auction and the compliments thrown Artemis's way, Lilith informs Artemis they no longer go by Bagel, as it was never their true name. Upon hearing this name, Artemis can't help feel as though it's familiar. Checking through one of Loki's letters for confirmation, realizing that Loki had a dear friend named Lilith, and remembering the half Enderman's strange interest in her fiancé, Artemis begins to put two and two together. Shocked that Loki still remembers her, Lilith tells Artemis that she had realized they both knew him ages ago when she stole their journal, but she wanted to make sure it was the same person before saying anything. Still finding it an unjust reason for stealing their journal, which multiple people had got to read from because of it, Artemis still forgives Lilith, as aside from that they have been nothing but kind to her. As the conversation goes on, Artemis explains that she has been receiving letters from Loki for some time now via an opened end portal, something Lilith finds very dangerous. Agreeing with her friend, especially given the recent conversation with a certain pirate, the two share some bagels together. Lamented over her lack of wings, as almost everyone else in the valley seems to have some, the two end up discussing the auction and Rose. Trusting the half-elf, Lilith tells them of her failed heist on the auction house and how Celine has tried to take her soul, but Lilith hadn't let them. Turning the conversation back to Loki, Lilith compares him and Artemis to Romeo and Juliet, except they don't die and hopefully will end up happy. Which reminds Artemis of the last book they received from the Elven Ruins, deciding to tell Lilith about her lineage, to which they joke about pulling out a red carpet for them. I remember that. Sorry. A red carpet for them. Lilith suggests that Artemis and Loki could conquer all with the power of love.
I feel like that's
As
slightly sarcastic, but I don't actually know.
I don't know anymore.
It could be knowing Lilith.
Given like my conversations with Bagel, I don't think it was.
Oh, well, that's cute then.
Yeah.
Lilith ships you guys. That's so cute.
I mean, out of all the conversations me and Bagel has, it seems like Bagel, character Lilith would absolutely loves the two of them together.
So cute.
As the two depart for the day, Lilith begins to rant once more about Isaac, Still upset from the supposed date he'll be having with Celine, jealous, bitter, and just a bit petty, Lilith grabs a book and calls to draft an anonymous letter to the man, even getting the Watchers to help them compose it. Once satisfied with how they shared their opinions, also known as viciously tearing into and insulting Fizuk, Lilith delivers the letter to his house. Before returning back home, heading back to hibernate in bed.
That letter is still one of my favourite things that's ever been written on this server. It's just so violent.
Bryce's reaction is actually the funniest thing to me because we were in a VC, Bryce got it, and it was like, and we just started laughing. It was like, wait, what the frick is this?
It's just so silly.
See, my favorite thing was the fact of the constant rotten flesh, and Bryce just walks up, opens that book, goes, "How?" and then walks away.
Oh my god! Oh, we love it though.
We do.
We love it. We love it. And
So
now
silly.
I get to talk again. Da, 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 da.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh my god, ask and ye shall receive. I get time with the lovely little Lilith now. Oh my
Yay.
goodness, my favourite little Bane. I love them. I know what that voice was. My demons, I guess.
Smite you.
My
demons.
Was that Southern? I can't tell. My demons, though. My demons. Keep shaking your head, Katie. Okay.
I'll let you know I'm also shaking my head.
Oh, shaking my head. Okay. Your finger at me.
The way you did that, just like,
Don't make me screenshot you again. I will put this Discord on camera.
Katie, you're doing this. You've got your camera on. You're like
Katie,
hiding.
I will.
Camera privileges taken away. Bye.
Oh no,
no more
too
camera
late.
privileges. Wow. Wow.
But oh, I missed the pretty Katie face. Oh, I'm so sad.
Oh my god.
I'm this close to showing you on camera because you're that cute. Okay, we'll stop being silly. We'll do the law. Needing to grab something from the library, Jay flies down from her home to do so, busying herself by checking book orders and such. As she does this, Lilith sneaks up behind her, having more questions on Celine and the other deities seen within the valley. Finally having a moment of clarity to examine their new appearance, Jay can't help but hint at all the knowledge they now have on the newly... That's not the word I was meant to put there. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Revealed, that's the word. On the newly revealed half-demon with their mask removed, but possesses... I did a lot of spelling mistakes in this one, I can already see it, I'm sad. I'm redoing that line.
It's okay.
Finally having a moment of clarity to examine their new appearance, Jay can't help but hint at all the knowledge they now have on the newly revealed half-demon, with their mask now removed, but decides to answer their questions as best they can anyway. Starting with one of her own, what to call them now. Careful not to give their name away like Jelly did, the half-enderman reintroduces herself as Lilith. Telling Lilith of the many devious things Celine has done, Karma's status as a demonic princess, and the mysteries of the god Warren, the two have a unique back and forth as they both attempt to take control of the conversation. Curious about how Celine knows so much, Jay explains the concept of soul magic to Lilith, confirming that they can, too, use it. Being able to tell a person's race, magic power level, and even read their emotions. Wondering if Jay would be capable of stealing a person's soul, Lilith asks as much, to which the Fae confirms. They also hint at Lilith's knowing a thing or two about souls, referencing the Watchers, Bagel's chat, lingering around them, which Lilith plays dumb to. Wondering the best way to gather people, specifically Jelly, somewhere, Jay suggests Lilith send out invitations for an event, even suggesting asking Honey for help as they had shown interest in hosting a ball before. Explaining how Jelly tends to see the best in people and knowing something must have happened between the demons as Jelly had commissioned her to make a new mask for Lilith, Jay hints that so long as no one gets hurt, she'll have no issue with whatever mischief Lilith wants to get up to. Lilith agrees, knowing that any harm caused won't be directly their fault, therefore leaving them free to do as they please. With a final note on Lilith's dislike towards Isaac, as well as a rundown of the many people within the valley, the two part ways. Jay heads to the secret room of the library, grabbing a stack of notes which she hopes will reveal something useful about Celine. Meanwhile, Lilith tells the Watchers how annoying they are, that if they're going to be around them constantly, they might as well do something useful. With a final note on reconnecting with Jelly after what they did with their mask, and teaching her a lesson to boot. Oh, teaching them a lesson to boot. I did the wrong pronoun. Fuck me. Lilith heads to bed with ideas swirling through her head. Hey. I don't know why there were so many wrong
Character
words
Jelly
in there.
uses she, their pronouns.
Character Jelly? I thought Character Jelly was they, them.
No, Jelly's they, them. Our Jelly's name, they, them.
I thought they were both they, them, because when Jelly first joined, they were gender fluid. It's fine. I was meant to put they, them in there, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And then it's me, Mari. It's your turn.
His.
What are you laughing at, Katie? What are you laughing at?
Giggling. I'm not giggling.
What are you laughing at?
I'm not giggling. I'm not giggling.
You're so cute.
No, you.
Okay.
And you. Reveal yourself.
Sir.
Reveal yourself, Elle. Reveal yourself.
Reveal yourself.
Reveal yourself.
My little Pokemon, guys. Be careful.
Who's that Pokemon?
I'm a Bulbasaur, fun fact.
I thought you'd be an Eevee.
I'm both. I'm a Leafeon.
Actually, yeah, you give Leafeon or Glaceon vibes.
No, those are my two favourite Pokemon.
I know. Anyway,
okay.
Mars time!
A nightmare of the past awakens Mars from his sleep, remembering the day he learned of his sickness and the pitiful looks of the people in his village, even his own father. The thought is agonizing getting out of bed, but Mars does it anyway, inching his way towards the kitchen for some breakfast, not long after greeting his pets. Floors and shelves covered in potted poppies he did not place. A knock sounds at his door. Finding Artemis outside, they convince Mars to get out of their house for a bit. The two head into their island to talk. Somehow, ending up at the graveyard, Mars learns that Artemis' family is dead, something he hadn't fully realised before. The half-elf explains that they've lost so many people already, they can't bear the thought of losing Mars too. Mars does his best to explain why he went to Salim, how pitiful he felt and how he never meant to do it. He apologises, even though Artemis says it's unneeded. Professing just how much they care for Mars to the point almost slipping up and calling him her son. Artemis reminds him she'll do anything to keep him safe.
Your face when you said that line was great. Oh, sorry, continue.
No, it's okay. The weight on his shoulders sits heavy, emotions so high and uncertainty rattle in his bones. Mars attempts to change the subject. Still desperately missing his beloved best friend Katie, Mars asks Artemis if they've seen her. The answer isn't as happy as he hoped, as Artemis reveals Katie had sold her soul to Celine as well, sometime before the auction, causing Mars to finally meet Artemis's eyes with his own. With uneven breath, Mars excuses himself, beginning to stumble his way home. Dazed as he exits the Nether portal, Mars's eye is caught on a shock of red through the trees, tentatively making his way towards it. The pond tree set just behind his home is now bright crimson red, strange vines dangling from its branches into the water. The land is scattered with poppies, and the coral in the water matches their colour. Hesitantly curious, Mars reaches out to one of the thorny vines, unable to reach them before a voice startles him from behind. Warning him not to touch the blood vines, Celine explains that they are a rare plant native to the Nether, having developed a unique diet due to the harsh environment of flesh and blood. Ignoring that Celine obviously brought them here, Mars is more interested in what she offered Katie in exchange for the Sea Elf's soul. The shapeshifter revealed that they offered to help reunite Katie with her home. Immediately, Mars tells Celine she can't do that, their conversation growing more vicious as he finally lets out his frustrations. Mars blames Celine for Jay for leaving him, for Artemis being upset with him, disregarding the fact his life was saved thanks to the shapeshifter. Mars yells at Celine, no longer care about the consequences, but as he blames her for his poor relationship with Katie, pain blossoms on his cheek. Celine slaps Mars harshly for his words, refusing to allow him to blame her for something he did to himself. With a final warning to never speak that way to them again, Celine disappeared, leaving Mars alone once more. Realizing she's right, Mars digs up the Sea Elf book from below the tree, deciding the fan to make up for all of his mistakes.
Oh, that baby. I was surprised I got back in time. I had to open the front door.
Oh my god.
Not my son.
Not my son. Not my bestie.
And she almost says in law and corrects herself.
Oh, you're so cute.
When Artemis can't accept that she cares for people.
I know, it's so sad. Okay, now we have Trio of Stars. So do you want to do the first part, Elle?
Okay, how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I was gonna say.
So we can split it in half.
I was gonna say up till the concerned.
Concern. Oh yeah, I can do it there.
Yeah, I start
Yeah,
on that. I start on that one, and then you do the ones before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we will start with the final law for last month.
Yeah.
Is that how you fucking spell trio?
Trio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trio of Stars.
Hee.
Hooray!
Little guys. Okay.
You can go whenever you want now,
Feeling a magical presence within his home, Isaac uses a detection spell and finds a faint pair of eyes watching him from under the stairs. Checking his mailbox, he finds a disturbing letter titled From a Better Person. After reading a long and creative list of insults directed towards him, and ill wishes sent his way, Isaac grabs a spyglass and heads off to Artemis's island, with many concerns on his mind. Meanwhile, having spent many hours sorting through various notes and manuscripts she had collected over the years, Jaya casts one last spell on the journal before she too checks her mailbox. Eager to share the information she's gained as well as talk to her friend about the recent discoveries of their lineage, Jaya flies towards a half-elf island to meet with their friends. Arriving at the potion tower at the same time, Jay and Isaac call Artemis down for a discussion. Speaking of the current goings on within the valley, talking about the auction, the mysterious stalk still spreading around Artemis's island, the Solus and Bagel's newfound hatred of Isaac, and how it links to a letter he received. The trio decide to have a more private discussion in Artemis's secret basement, to find that also to be covered in large patches of death moss. Not my fault, guys, I promise. Settling down within the basement, the trio begin to talk about more pressing issues. Celine. After discussing the event that took place within the hidden casino, Jay reveals the research they've been doing the last few days, finally learning what Celine truly is, a puka, as a failed changeling that beat death through their own force of will, mutating their mimicry abilities and granting them bat-like wings. The race perfectly matches Celine's description. With this vital information, they find themselves one step closer to finding a way to stop Celine, if they only knew what her plan was. Hoping that the new Solus in the valley might have some insight, Jay tells the others to keep an eye out for them when around the harbour. As Isaac and Artemis live closer to them than the Fae does, believing that the three of them might stand a chance against Celine, even more so if they can convince Charlie to join their cause. The trio prepare plans to take Celine on once and for all, the only thing missing being Celine's current whereabouts and goal. She's planning something, they just need to find out what.
My turn. I'm gonna be all awkward now because people are in my house. Concerned, overwhelmed, and still very out of his depth, Vizok is comforted by Jay and Artemis, the two suggesting he attempt to gain some control of the situation by contacting his patron again, or trying to. Having a lot to think about, including the magic eyes that were watching him within his own home, Vizok leaves the basement to get some fresh air and give his friends a moment to themselves. Despite intending to talk to Artemis before he left, Vizok finds himself in need of more of a breather than he thought, deciding to head home and continue the conversation once he can think more clearly. As the human makes his way off the island, Jay and Artemis continue their conversation, speaking about what the half-elf had learned from the elven ruins recently. Learning that her mother was an elven princess was a great shock. Jay does her best to comfort her friend and show them how wonderful this information could be, seeing as they now have a living family they could meet. At the same time, Jay understands being royal isn't all that it's made out to be, ensuring Artemis that she would be with her no matter what she picked. Saddened by the prophecy and wishing she wasn't a part of it, Artemis asks for Jay's opinion, and the Fae explains that prophecies cannot be escaped. With many ideas and many questions left in the air, Jay suggests Artemis write her fiancé about it, and I think you already told him about Apollo's death, but
Nope,
you hadn't.
He just found out.
He just found out.
He's just found out, guys.
He's just found out. But yeah. Knowing what her beloved friend is like, Jay says that Artemis can choose whatever they wish to do, regardless of prophecy, or her family, or anything. Artemis is her own person, and they get to choose what they want in life. It's a foreign concept to the half-elf, being so used to serving other people, but Jay tells them that they can live for others and themselves at the same time. They can be their own person without guilt and make whatever choices make them happy. She reminds Artemis of how amazing they are and how they have touched so many lives and done so much good, and says that learning to live won't be easy, but she'll always be there for her friend. With a final reminder that Jay would help with anything the half-elf needed. Despite not being known as scary, they can definitely be a monster when required. Jay heads home for the day to finish deciphering Charlie's journal. Now alone, Artemis heads to their office to start composing a letter to Loki, wanting his opinions on her findings and needing some more assurance. With a plan in place but still so many factors left to string together, the trio rests knowing that this calm won't last for long.
Yay.
Oh, yay! That is all of the lore from last month. There have been a couple of streams this month, but we're going to save those for the next Mythrill Monthly episode.
Yeah. So, do you know how much lore we've read today?
How much?
We've read 18.
Yo!
Oh my god, that's not as many as the first episode. There was like 20 in the first episode.
Yeah, there was 20-something.
There was 21, I think.
Yeah, 21, 22-ish. I know it's around that number.
Yeah, it's definitely. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the lore catch up. We can talk about a couple of things before heading off, because we like to chat a little bit. Did you enjoy your time on Mythrill Monthly, Katie?
I did.
Did you enjoy being a little silly guy? My favourite silly person.
Silly guy. It was very fun.
Do you know a fun thing?
What?
Before the recent stream me and Bryce did, canonically Artemis hadn't slept for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. And now she's slept, guys. She's gone to
oh my god.
She went to sleep simply because I was too tired.
I can't believe this. That's so base, Bessie. Oh, I was going to say something and it has left my brain. That's my favourite thing.
Do exclamation mark Mythrill.
You should do exclamation mark Mythrill, because we
must have just saying to Jay, like 2 exclamation mark brain or something.
Exclamation mark brain, insane in the brain, insane in the membrane.
Do you know what? You should just make that a command. just
make
like
it a channel point redemption. It just randomizes a number. Like, this is how many brain cells you have at this current moment.
No, that would be so funny.
I should actually do that. That'd be funny. Once per stream, people can see how many brain cells they got.
I would love to see how many brain cells.
Katie does it. Gets like -2.
Why did I know you were gonna say that? Oh my
I'm
gosh.
sorry. I love you. You're smart.
It's fine,
no, you're one of the smartest people I know. Stop.
It's fine.
I love you.
over the next month, I know me and Joe have been hinting at a lot, is the finale for Arc 2. So
yeah. The scream.
the next Mythrill Monthly will be the last parts of Arc 2 happening.
Yeah,
Don't say that.
And the
Before
next
Arc
Mythrill Monthly
3.
will be the end of Mythrill Monthly season 1. So
Yeah.
that'll be so interesting. Or we might do a bonus episode afterwards, depending if we have some extra stuff to talk about before Arc 3 starts. But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
This is the thing. If I do lore in between, that's the thing Jay's saying right now.
Yeah, please don't. I'm gonna cry.
If I did what I did, I'm doing one thing, and that is it. That's all I've got planned for it in between.
Yeah.
But I think you might be chill with that because of what it's to do with.
Potentially.
Well, you're the one suggested canonically for Artemis to do it.
Oh,
so
well,
you're the one
I guess I should cry then. But what everyone should do is go to the Mythrill card and check out the Twitter, because I've sort of been low-key hinting that once we get to 1,000 followers, there might be applications opening. So that could be cute.
Oh my goodness.
That could be fun. We're not very far away. We're like almost at 800. Which is so spicy, so cute. But yeah, we have already had a couple of lore streams this month. I think me and Elle are going to be figuring out the dates for the rest of them. If not today, then tomorrow. And the finale is in the works. I've been editing my little heart out. It's currently like 6 minutes long. So in the month,
really?
yeah, it might be like it might be
Right,
10 minutes.
Just really.
Last time I paid attention to the number, it was 5 minutes, but it might be longer, and it's a cinematic and it's taking a while. But you know what? We have the final recording session for it tomorrow.
I love the recording.
I love the recording sessions.
I've been in every single one, and it makes
you have been. You've been playing yourself in all of them.
Yeah.
Not all of them, actually.
Do you know what? I get to play myself tomorrow,
you were me
guys.
in one of them. You were me in one of them.
I was.
Yeah. See, I actually get to play myself tomorrow. So
You gotta play yourself for once.
I know, right?
You gotta be your silly little self. We love that. We love
Who
that.
am I?
You're yourself.
Yay!
Yeah. Also, I know Kate is also.
I actually realised if somebody drops out, then we actually will be fine, because somebody doesn't really move a lot, so I could just use a second account and it's fine.
Oh, okay. I have something to tell you after stream then.
Oh, okay.
I have to tell you, but it's okay.
Okay, I'm concerned. I'm very concerned now.
I forgot to tell you.
Oh no. Okay, I'm concerned. But yeah, by the end of this month, and we're still figuring out dates because we're waiting on some cool stuff to make it fancy, but Mythrill SMP Arc 2 will be over. Arc 3 we're hoping to start sometime in August. Katie, I see what you're typing. Stop it. And we're just gonna vibe with it, honestly. We have a lot of exciting plans in the works. And yeah, not a lot of stuff we can really talk about without giving major spoilers. But when is the next lore stream happening? I think the next one might be your and Mars's, actually, Katie.
Yep.
Oh.
Do you know what date that is?
Yeah, which day is it, Katie?
I'm pretty sure I was told 15th or 16th, but
That's what I was told a date.
Well, Mars was typing to somebody. Mars was typing to somebody, so you might want to ask. Please check your DM.
I'm currently scrolling up. Just have a little look, see.
Just search your DMs for the 15th, like the word 15th and 16th.
Not the word, like the number.
I know. I mean, but search for it.
Maybe Mars did a silly, or maybe it wasn't in your chat. No, it wasn't in your chat.
No, it was not.
All I was asked is, can it be 14, 15, 16?
Okay.
What did you reply?
Well...
Oh, wait. Never mind. I got asked it, but in a very discreet way to... Yeah, probably.
You cut out for part of that, so I'm just going to be like, okay.
I understood what Katie said to you. No, I understood, Katie. Don't you worry. I understood what you said.
On again, because I was like, oh, it's probably fine now.
Okay, well, when you figure out which day it is for definite, please let us know.
I know what day it is for definite.
What day?
15th.
15th,
so,
good.
Thanks.
I think that's the Saturday, right?
Yes, that is the Saturday.
15th.
next lore stream will be a Katie and Mars one, which is so very cute. Speaking of, you guys should once again follow Mars because they made the PNGs and they're so
For
lovely.
real.
When we go to the end screen in a while, you'll hear Sky's music again, and then, you know, Elle's here. Elle's
Sky
lovely.
beloved.
We love
I'm
Elle.
always here.
You're so great. And you know who
Yeah.
else is so great?
PNGtuber.
PNGtuber.
And you.
No.
And Ace of J, actually.
Stop
most
it.
ever.
Stop it. Stop it. I've been working my little butsy off. I've been doing so
Exactly.
many
You've been
things.
working so hard and you're doing absolutely amazing.
Stop, you're gonna make me cry. I've
You're
got so much editing to do.
I respect you for that.
I have so much editing to do. I have a Mythrill episode I have to put out for my channel. Shameless
me
self
too.
promo because I have that ready to post and I haven't worked on the third episode yet still because I'm silly.
I forgot about mine this week. I was like, no.
That's so fair, bestie. That's
No
so
one might
fair.
hear from me for the next week, to be honest, either.
Don't you worry, bestie. We love you still. We love you. But yeah, just a lot of fun stuff. We have a Mars and Katie stream. And then we don't have dates for anything else, but me and Elle are going to be doing a couple of things. And yeah, it's going to be very, very cute. We need to figure out the happiest fucking in.
Yeah.
Because we've been a little bit slow on the dates, but that's just because a lot of people are busy, which is silly.
That's okay.
Way.
And there are
Oui.
people taking breaks, which is really
A lot
good
of people
them. I'm proud
taking
of them.
breaks, a lot of people on summer break, a lot of people being silly little guys. We love them
so
all
feel
for
sad.
it.
Summer break.
I don't get summer break till September.
I have a job. I
Don't you
wanna
laugh at
cry.
me, Katie? Because you all have to suffer me going and do my coursework still.
Fun fact,
while
I
doing
figured out
more.
I get paid weekly for my job instead of like monthly, so I've got money
Oh,
now.
that's good. Slay!
I've made like 400 quid. So
Oh,
I'm
oh my
doing good.
gosh.
I'm a happy being, and yet my aunt still bought clothes for me when I said I could pay. So I'm like, bestie,
No,
stop spoiling me.
that's what aunts do at times.
But she also bought me lunch, and I felt bad.
No, she'll do it. She'll do that. Let her.
She's
That's
the
how
best.
she shows affection. It must be. It's like me. Just accept it.
No.
Accept it.
No, that it's not allowed unless I'm an aunt, in which case it is allowed. I would definitely spoil kids if I need to call kids
Exactly.
things. I mean, they might as well be things. They don't have
they
much
are
of a
things.
personality.
I love how we were like, yeah, they might as well be just that.
It's like in The Sims when babies are objects.
No, real. It's my favorite.
Can I just say my favorite thing throughout this entire podcast has been PNGtuber singing songs and me just being able to see them on their
just
camera.
lip syncing and just be like, watching.
Stop! You've called me out so many times. I was just sitting here like, whoa!
I mean, you turned your camera on. I've got to comment on the cute thing that I see. You can't expect me not to comment on the cutie pie. You look great today. You're beautiful.
Thanks.
Hey hey.
Say hey.
But yeah, I can't think of anything specific to mention other than finale some point end of this month. I think latest it will be is the 29th.
I think so.
But I'm hoping to have it at an earlier date, which will be very, very cute, very, very silly. But yeah, so little guys. Do you guys have anything you want to add? You guys have anything going on?
No,
Anything
but
you want to
take
do? A
care
little promo
yourselves.
stuff? Take care of yourself. Katie,
Yeah.
you got
look after
anything? You got
yourself.
anything to say? You're shaking your head. You're saying no.
Shaking my head.
Okay, well then I guess we'll end today with just the notion that PNGtuber is a wonderful, adorable person.
Stop!
Yeah.
And we're so thankful to have had you here on the Mythrill Monthly podcast.
I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. Once again, everybody should check out the Mythrill card, check out the members, check out the Discord for updates on this podcast, or follow the Twitter to get us to open applications sooner because, you know, again, getting 1K on there, we're not going to officially talk about it until Lock 2 is over, but I'm going to mention it in all this extra content for it until that happens, to get us a little speed run. But yeah, it's going to be super duper cute, but that is the end of the stream for today. I saw a Rose Thunder live earlier, but I don't think they're still
I
live.
don't think Rose Thunder's live anymore.
And I don't think anyone is on the SMP right now.
No, Bean's doing hardcore.
Bean's doing hardcore. I think Should we rate a beanie or should we just do a little run? What do you guys think?
Let me have a look at. I'm just put. Beans just died on hardcore.
Oh, okay. Let's give them time to grieve.
Yeah.
Let's give them time to grieve. But again, thank you all for coming to the podcast. I hope you enjoyed the lore. We'll be back again next month for episode 5 to go over the finale of Arc 2 and give you some maybe do a little Q&A for the coming of Arc 3. So little guys that we love. And until then, may Mythrill enrich your hearts. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.